everybody, Jason Burmis here. We are live with the legend, the smashiest of Fitches, John Fitch. How are you?
Doing good. Enjoying the California sun out here, California. At least we're experiencing some good weather.
How about your California kid, Bill Maher, saying vitamin D is a good thing and fat people are affected by this more? You see that clip yet?
Have not. I'm sure they're going to roast him, though.
You know, I did a full breakdown of it, and look, I wanted to go in raw, Fitch. I wanted to go in deep. I wanted to go in dirty. I didn't just want to watch the clip.
Baby, I like it raw.
Exactly. I wanted to go ODB style, shimmy, shimmy, yah, all up in that real time with Bill Maher. So I watched the whole thing, and that was actually the last segment of the show. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of it was hard to watch, my friend. I mean, just the fact that
It usually is. It's usually a lot of. It's just as hard as the QAnon stuff, sitting on people talking about QAnon. It's the blue anon and QAnon. It's the crazy people on the far sides. And it's like you have the super far crazy on the extreme, and you have a little bit inside. Those are like the blue and QAnons. And then you got people who are a little bit more normal. And then there's like us who are like just objectively trying to look at everything.
Yeah. And look, here's the thing. At least he did that at the end, talking about, he basically talked. First of all these numbers were really horrifying. I would play it on here, but I don't want us to get a strike. Maybe when we go.
It's over. It's over. COVID's over. Sorry. It's over. Texas and Florida open. It's over. They're fine. Absolutely fine.
We're open over here.
Like, wrap it up. It should be, everybody should just be like, okay, we can see this is bullshit. It's open. Like, leave us alone. Just tell them to shut up. It's over. COVID's over, people. It's over.
Listen, we're going to stop there.
Seriously, it's like it is officially over.
Listen,
like anybody who's like trying to talk about it, just like they're an anon, they're an anoner, either blue or Q, whatever. It's over. Texas open, Florida open. Shit's fine. It's over.
So we're going to be real careful. That is John Fitch's opinion. That is not the opinion of the WHO or any local
health. Opinion of the numbers. That's what the numbers say.
Fitch, we're on YouTube right now. You got to cool it. You got to cool it. We're going to go to Rockfin. You got to cool it. We're cooling it. Listen, guys, we are going to talk about all that stuff. We are. We're going to talk about numbers. I got a bunch of clips to play. We're going to show you this officer, Sergeant Paul Brown, hugging people and then getting fired from his job. That's going to be the heart of this today. But it is Mixed Martial Mindset. Before we get going, I do want people to know that they can find us at thegruelingtruth.com audio-wise, johnfitch.net, rockfin.com, rockfin.com. All my documentaries are free. And we should talk, obviously, the elephant in the room before we even talk MMA. The Askren fight. John Fitch, thoughts after the fact?
I mean, Ben just cashed a check. He didn't. I don't even think he trained. I think he did a little bit of mitt work here and there. I don't think he cared about winning the fight. I don't care. I don't think. I mean, whatever. He made as much money to show for that fight as John Jones made reportedly in his 22nd UFC fight.
Yeah,
made the same show money. It took John Jones 22 UFC fights to earn the same show money that Ben Askren did.
And what's that report? Because I heard 500,000. Is it more than that?
Half a million.
Half a million. That's the show, but we don't really know behind the scenes. I'm sure there was a lot more.
Yeah, still, like his paid whatever, and then Ben also made pay-per-view. So like, there's claims of 1.3 to 1.5 million pay-per-views, which is like top 5 in the past 40 years or 30 years, how long ever pay-per-views existed. It's like in the top. So like the whole thing with the UFC is they got everybody convinced that the UFC's magic secret sauce. We have the secret sauce. That's why people show up and watch the fights. It's our method. It's our system. That's why people watch fights. That's why we make all this money. That's why we can take off all this money off the top and skim all this money off the top and then give little crumbs to the fighters, because it's about us. It's about the letters UFC on the middle of the mat. That's what people pay to see. That's their argument. Okay, this just blows it completely out of the freaking water.
Well, that argument's by the wayside.
It's about the athletes. It's about the names of the fighters. It's about notoriety, and to be honest, it's even more so in the names of notoriety than it is skill level.
Oh, it's that 100%. Let's talk 100%. About the circus.
Your when it comes to fights, it comes down to notoriety. Your notoriety is where you make the most amount of money. In a sports model, though, success by winning is what builds your notoriety. Okay, Michael Jordan became the greatest because he won over and over and over and over again. He performed at a high level. That's why he was lifted up to that level. But in MMA, we do not have a sport system. So like just performing well in the sport isn't enough to propel you forward. And with fighting, because it's such a
it's unique
type thing, right? It's a unique situation because you need the titles to get the top fighters to pursue the belts. But at the same time, people want to just see certain fights. And you have to allow the clown show. You have to allow the circus. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But like, if the sporting structure doesn't exist, if there's no free agency, then when you get MMA and the fighters make very little money, even though they're pulling the same eyeballs, even knowing they're getting the same amount of views.
So let's talk about that for a second, because when we talk about notoriety versus skill level, arguably the two guys that showed the most skill in that whole thing, that were coming in there either over their prime or first time like Mir was Mir and his opponent Cunningham by far. Mm-hmm. They went the distance in a real fight. They actually were boxing each other. Now, don't get me wrong.
Boxing match. It was a good fight. It was a good fight on the card.
And they're not making as much money, obviously, as Jake Paul and Ben Askren. And then the circus show.
He still made like $350,000.
Yeah, no, but you know what? Mir has a good contract. Like he made decent.
And then who knows the sponsorships? Who knows what kind of sponsorships he made off of that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if he had any type of deal with the pay-per-view either.
Mm-hmm. By the way, props to Mir because again, you fought. You came in there. You were in shape. I give Mir a million times credit. He didn't take a dive. He didn't take a seat. He went all six with this guy.
Hard. I mean, it was a great opponent. I mean, he had 70 pounds on the guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Again,
that's a lot of weight.
Well, dude. Mir had 70 pounds on him. The other guy had 3 inches. He had a lot of weight, but he was doing a good job. I'd say this: Mir was doing a good job of getting in 1-2s, but he wasn't getting in without getting hit. You know?
He wasn't able to cut him off and press him.
No,
that's what a bigger guy. That's what you got to do. You got to lean on a little bit.
Yeah,
he wasn't able to do that. But whatever, man. First professional boxing match against an ex-champ.
Yeah,
he looked all right.
And now we have to get to the circus aspect of it because just like you said,
he made. Yeah, I would say he got beat up less, took less damage in that fight, and made considerable amount of money.
I don't know. His face is pretty banged up. You'd have to ask him. His face is pretty banged up in that one.
I guess.
He did say like Mir's
face.
If you
don't get wobbled, you don't get dropped. I'm thinking you didn't really get concussed. You probably didn't take that much brain damage in the fight. But I mean, like you're even kicking and checking kicks, man. Like your shins, you're getting hit in the leg with a bat.
Yeah,
like you're banged up after a fight. It's like falling down trees and hitting all the branches on the way down. Like even if you win and you don't, like
that's how you feel.
Yes, you still hit every tree. like I have you get just your head will be just tender and you can't touch it because you raked across the fence once and then now it's just it's just bruised for a good portion of your head. Mm-hmm. Nobody can touch it. You just feel it throb for a few days. You just find things that hurt. Your hands hurt. You could go out there and knock a guy out, not get hit, and then your hands are sore for a month because you hit a skull.
That makes sense.
I think, and you only got that 4 ounces of protection versus the 10-ounce glove.
Yeah, and again, that's just there so you don't necessarily break your knuckles, which doesn't always happen. There are a lot of broken hands in MMA, broken wrists as well.
Yes, it's 100% preventing the broken hand, broken wrist,
and
minimizing cuts to the face.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the circus, right? Because we watched it together.
This was a circus, dude.
This was about the biggest circus.
We were me and Cinco watching the first part, the warm-ups. Before we went live, there was a fight. It was a fight of this little guy against a big guy. I don't even know what it was, but I didn't know if they knew that the cameras were rolling or what was going on, but like Snoop is just talking. Nobody's talking about the fight. And I'm just like, did you guys not notice there's like a 50-pound weight difference? These guys, I was like, nobody's talking about what's going on in the fight. Like, what's happening here? And then they're all getting drunk and smoking. And
did you see what Cormier said?
And they were standing around. And I don't even think that like it looked to me like they didn't know that they were on camera.
So listen,
they just were like hanging out.
And by the way, I got echo again on you. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, maybe load it. So listen. So Cormier, I sent it to you. Man, that's all right. Now it's gone. Kinda. All right. Cormier said that De La Hoya, I guess Ariel Helwani must have said that he was buzzed or something. And then Cormier tweeted
was hammered, and I think Mario Lopez was hammered also. They got smashed. They're drinking margaritas in the back or something. They're having a good old time.
And then we'd have to say that, everything but a nipple was pretty much on the table there. Pretty much anything but a nipple. But then you literally got almost a semi Woodstock 2021 show because you had the Black Keys, you had Saweetie, Lovato.
Yes. And then Too Short and everybody popped up. And, I don't know if I mind the music stuff so much. I don't really care as much.
I just feel like, look,
I'm on the fence with that. I don't need to see like complete sex acts.
That's it.
I like my nudity more tasteful.
Well, here's the deal.
Like I like my girls scantily clad, but like I don't need to see their asshole.
The headliner is a guy that is going to appeal to 14 to 24-year-olds mostly. Right? Like that 10-year age range is probably Jake Paul's base. Don't get me wrong. Maybe he's got a few little older fans, Logan, Ben Askren's the one that's pulling our generation in, the fighters and all that stuff. But overall, obviously all those acts other than the regroup of Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and Too Short and all that are aimed at a younger. Bieber, we forgot Bieber was there.
Bieber was there.
That's
right. Bieber and Yeah. So I mean, this is just the modern day celebrity boxing. Yeah. Remember the, Screech and
this is way bigger though, right? Because again, these are top tier acts.
Yeah, because now it's not on network television and the people actually got paid.
Well, again, it's the big audience are kids. That's why the sex thing kind of bothers me because at some point, if this stuff keeps going, right, there's going to be a point like when I was talking about this and maybe doing a broadcast in front of my nieces, and I said the word Jake Paul. She wasn't really aware of the fight, right? She's 11 years old, but she knew exactly who he was and he's boxing. And it's like, all right. So now she's 13, 14 years old, and maybe she does want to catch the pay-per-view with her uncle 3-4 years down the line because they're still doing these.
And you know what? I'm not a prude. I'm not a
Me
prude.
neither.
Like it's not like, oh my God, they're twerking. No, but like I see the slope. Okay. I saw what was happening like in the 90s and whatever stuff, and like I've seen where it's progressed to, and it's definitely like getting more degenerative. Like,
yeah. Well, that was all right. Yeah. So let's talk about that because in the 90s, and don't get me wrong, I remember when Marilyn Manson came out with cops in pink all making out with each other. That was the edgy once a year, 20 plus years ago after 8 p.m. Eastern. Everybody knew what it was going to be, right? And you knew they were going to push the limit. And like, if you let your kid watch that, you did. There were still people that were pushing back a little bit against that. Now you have this where it is literally social media up and down immersed, right? Whereas the MTV Movie Awards, if you weren't watching MTV, you didn't really know about it. You know what I mean?
Like, even like, what is there even an MTV anymore? Like, I don't even have cable, so like,
yeah, it's there.
No music videos.
No, they got
so
MTV.
What the hell is the?
I think they have MTV Music. I have IPTV, so they have like a one for just music videos. I think so. One for VH1 also, but even like BET that used to play music videos, they don't do that. They've got 3 networks. In fact, BET is an association with Showtime, where BET has a premium Showtime network.
It's such a weird thing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Like it's such a weird thing because you would think the it would be cheap entertainment to be putting on music videos, and you would want your clients seen, in their videos. Like it's such a weird thing for it to just stop. Like, why?
And you know what? They still do go viral, just like the the Lil Nas X Satan screw job video that I went over with everybody. I mean, those things still do have an effect on pop culture because they can go viral on YouTube and do. So you would think that they would be putting more money into that, but it doesn't seem to be the thing. You know what I mean? And
maybe it's one of those things. It's too many small potatoes get noticed.
Well, yeah. Look at Tom McDonald. His videos are awesome, and they go great with the songs, and they're highly produced. And he's doing them with his girlfriend. It doesn't cost them.
You have outsiders to the industry that would be very popular with the right video, and they're like, whoa, we can't. We want to control the airwaves. Mm-hmm. We want to control what everybody sees and likes.
Hey, you see this yet?
What's this?
The new self-driving Domino's car that's going to replace everybody. All your this is it, man. Uber's getting replaced.
There was a driverless car crash and fire.
I saw it, but you'll never hear about it really big nationally because they're promoting Elon Musk because he's the best thing since breakfast. You missed last week, man. I went hardcore. Like I think we did that document 2 weeks ago, right? With The Future Is Now, where I showed you some things. Well, I found the guy that wrote that, and he did this crazy interviews and all this automation is very real. But he had said in 2011, DARPA and other programs had already put 10,000 brain chips in people. Let me repeat that. 10,000 back 10 years ago. Can you imagine how many have already taken it? So again, Musk is on my shit list. Him and his Dogecoin can eat it. Everybody's like, "Oh, Doge is exploding." I'm like, "Listen, man, if that's the coin to get on."
Look, I will say this:
yes,
if people are putting their money in Doge, it's better than leaving it in fiat.
Yeah, maybe, but you know what? What happens?
Maybe. I mean, you're better off with
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin
or Ethereum, or maybe even Ray
tokens.
Listen, Ray, I think is a bargain right now at under $2. Especially, I think what has to happen.
$2 today, I thought.
I think it did go up a little bit more, but it hit under 2, and it's gone over 5. And here's my feeling about Ray. It's still going to take whatever fiat currency or whatever cryptocurrency is acceptable to exchange for memberships. Therefore, Ray will be useful. It actually has a proof of stake where most of these don't. And we've seen it go to 5 rather quick. With Doge, you could see it go to $1. And then the pump and dump goes so hard that it goes to 10 cents. And you didn't dump quick enough. And that's a real possibility. Now with Ray, I don't know how much farther down it's going to go, but there's a good chance. I'm predicting $5 in 2 to 3 months, possibly $10 within 6 months if certain parties sign on to Rockfin, okay? And you can now find their material there. And I do know of certain parties that are talking about it. And that's certainly what we need. Other fights. Bellator. Let's talk about Corey Anderson. He looked dominant. Phil Davis just couldn't quite do it against Nemkov, but had his moments.
Came up a little bit short. I mean, Phil Davis is one of the greatest fighters to never be the top guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been finished. All the fights he's lost have been close fights. He's literally he was this close to being one of the greatest light heavyweights ever. Mm-hmm. You know, he could still beat any of those top guys, I think. He's just right there.
He's always right there. Like you said, he's never been finished, and it's only been top guys that took him down. Corey Anderson, fought a pretty tough and hungry opponent. Eventually, though, overpowered him. Was good about keeping him up against the fence, getting him to the ground.
Kept the pressure up, kept pressuring him, and wore him down.
Yeah, and then finally got that mount and sayonara. We got more UFC coming up next week. I don't think it's pay-per-view, is it? Or is that? It is pay-per-view, isn't it? Is it the one that's going to be in Florida?
It's the one in Florida, Jacksonville, 258, I think.
Let's see. We're going to it. Events. Yeah, it's the Usman Masvidal 2. So actually, that's a pretty big card. I think Usman handles him. I think you and I both know that's the pro wrestling aspect. No disrespect to Jorge, but there were a lot of other guys I would have liked to see him up against. Rose against Zhang. I would love to see Rose win. I don't know that that's happening.
Roseman making some people angry. talking about communist China stuff.
Well, here's the deal, man. It's like I feel bad for both parties because it's like you grow up in that you don't have a choice. Right now, that's the model for everything coming up, right? Right, John? I mean, let's be honest. Like even now, Naomi Wolf talking about this vaccine passport is talking about specifically the World Economic Forum, Bill Gates, Fauci, the Chinese Communist Party. She went on Bannon, bro. She was on Bannon's show. I couldn't believe, and she's like, I literally thought you were the devil. She said that to Bannon.
It's wild.
We're in wild times. So look, she's not wrong, but at the same time, it's like we're fighting the same enemy, both sides. I'm sure that Zhang Weili doesn't want to, be under oppression just like we don't. She just doesn't understand it. But we got to understand if we don't fight back now, our children could grow up in a society much worse than even she grew up in. Shevchenko, Andrade, another great fight. I'd love to see the upset there. I don't expect to. Uriah Hall versus Weidman. I like that fight. I like it. Let's see if Uriah can get a dominant win or both of them need a dominant win.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Hall's been doing well lately.
Yeah, he hadn't done bad. Anthony Smith versus Jim Crute. I think Crute's dangerous. Smith has to watch himself.
Big dude.
Oliveira, Randy Brown. I like that fight, but I think Oliveira should be able to handle it. But Randy Brown's look sharp, and maybe he's finally on his run. A lot of people expected him to do well in the UFC. He stumbled a little bit there in the beginning. Interested in that fight? Let's see. Most of these other guys, not too familiar with. Let's see. Early prelims. Wow, we haven't gotten a ton of those lately. Lots of them, too. Good. A lot of fights. Excited about that. Who's at Bellator next week?
I mean, no. Is it the next round, or they already go through the first 2 rounds of the tournament?
They did the first 2.
It's the lightweights, right? Archuleta.
Oh, we don't even have that next week. It's not till May 7th. So they're off a couple weeks, I guess.
Johnson Romero, that's what we're looking forward to.
And then one championship has been coming in on Wednesdays as well. So, guys, listen, we're going to play this clip for Fitch because I don't think you've seen it yet. And this is the clip. And then we're going to go just to Rockfin because then I can actually talk smack. And by the way, Sarah Whalen, who supports this program, by the way, Flick, thank you for the tip. She posted something about the naughty drug we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, and Twitter suspended her, froze her account, and made her delete the tweet, John. Now, we can't read that tweet here on YouTube. But after we play this, we will read it once we go only on Rock Finnington. All right, so let's do it. This is happening right now.
Clients again, they were open yet again, even in the face of a promise by Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie.
I don't have a lot of tolerance for this, Sean. They know the rules. We don't have a lot of tolerance for this, Sean. We're going to give them the maximum fine.
Oh, she's mad. We're going to give them the maximum fine. She doesn't have a lot of tolerance for it, John.
You don't have a right.
The state of emergency generally forbids gyms from opening to see clients. But owner Teresa Herron was unfazed by possible legal troubles as she spoke to us on the way in.
Are you continuing to stay open?
I am.
Now, the bylaw people want to talk to you, but you guys haven't opened the doors.
No, I talked to them over the phone. I do not consent, and I'm not contracted to them.
Bylaw officers have been camped out here since Wednesday. She's refused to open the door. Some staff were using the back door. One told us it's unfair gyms have to stay closed right now.
Yeah, I don't think they should be shutting down the gyms while they're leaving alcohol stores open. Ice cream shops like Baskin-Robbins open.
Minutes later, more bylaw officers arrive. They approach the gym's co-owner. He refuses to allow them to go inside for an inspection.
Why would you let these guys in?
Oh, because we don't want to deal with them.
You don't care that they're the law?
They're not the law. They're doing illegal activities.
Huff's co-owner would only give his first name,
illegal activity,
Jay.
100%.
He and others who work out here say the shutdowns are unjustified.
These gyms are about being healthy. Going to doctors and dying in a hospital, that's not healthy.
100%.
Not pharmaceutical stuff. That's not healthy. This is what seems to be the problem.
Now, this is where the media really gets to bootlicking. See how the police have arrived?
They're awful.
So this is the police officer arriving to protect these people.
These days, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, listen to what he says, because it's nuts.
So those are the perspectives of the people that own the gym and one person who works at the gym. And as you can see behind me, these are some of the people who support the gym. They are also people who believe that this gym should be open, notwithstanding the orders right now. As I reported before, there have been 5 bylaw officers here for the last couple of days, just in the last 10 to 12 minutes or so.
Let's talk about that. There's 5 people there for 2 days to try to shut down a gym from people being healthy in the westernized world. I'm just putting that out there.
I mean, like, how much money is it costing to like do this?
That's what I'm saying.
So how much money are you spending to close down one? You got nothing better to do. So let's fucking go after this gym. People trying to be healthy and not get sick.
The Peel Regional Police moved in. They were standing by here. I asked the sergeant here whether they would be executing a warrant or taking other action. He said that they would not be. But as I said, they are here.
They can't.
He goes, they would not be. No, this is the guy that stands up to him. But listen to the bootlicker. He's like, whoa, he can't believe that the sergeant isn't gonna get these people. Mm-hmm. They're so.
I can't believe they're not arresting them right now.
Presumably for the purpose of trying to get in. They want to talk to the owner. They want to speak to them about why they are in fact open and seeing clients inside, which is against the rules of the particular emergency orders that were under here. So the owner told me earlier today that they have no intention of closing. They were open today. Many of the clients are going in and out of the back. Police, as I said, are here. The bylaw officers were not able to speak to anybody at the front door. They want to speak to them. They want to issue a ticket. That's what Mayor Bonnie Crombie said that they would do yesterday. But at this point, as you said, Alan, it is a standoff because they're not able to move in yet, but presumably they're going to wait out because at some point, the owner and the people inside have to come out.
Sean, real quickly, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised that there hasn't been a ticket handed out already. How is it possible? No tickets have been handed out at this point?
No tickets have been handed out. You can see down here there are people who are waving down here. People are at the gym. The reality is, Alan, that in order to hand out a ticket, they have to be able to stand up and hand the ticket. That's why these bylaw officers were here all day, camped out in the lot as we have been for the last 2 days. You're right. It seems peculiar that the police and that the bylaw officers in Mississauga can't actually enforce the law, but that is the fact as it stands right now. Unless, I'm just going to move back here from some of these guys, unless in fact a decision is made by the police. But as I said, I asked the sergeant whether it'd be a warrant or something like that. That's not going to happen. We're going to stand
because that's not going to happen.
Because this is just these are all recommendations.
Look,
not really a law.
So they had banned Chris Sky. Well, they're trying to make it all color law. This guy listens to Chris Sky. He's the Rebel News guy. Gritch, by the way, thank you for his number. No, I have not reached out to him yet. I am going to reach out to him. And he basically came out, this gentleman right here, this is his change.org, reinstate him, and said, I'm not going to do this. This is tyranny. This is ridiculous. And watch, for what he gets, this is it. Watch. First of all, this person's so upset, this piece of trash. Sean O'Shea, watch. I like this woman.
Get away from me. Is it okay with you, Sergeant? You condone that, Sergeant?
I don't condone it. That's why I started to come over. You're standing here videotaping, and obviously you're agitating this group.
I'm not agitating. I'm standing back here.
I know, but they obviously have a problem with you. I don't know if you have a problem with them.
I'm a journalist. I'm doing my job, Sergeant.
Right.
Sergeant 1889. Sean O'Shea, Global News. I'm doing my job.
So this is a Global News bootlicker that wants him in trouble for doing this.
Feed their family and not be on UBI. Geez, it's just terrible, eh, Sean? What are we going to do with guys like this that want people to feed their kids for the next 20 years? Right? We don't want to go along with the Klaus Schwab agenda.
I love this guy. Hey, Sean, you want to do the next celebrity boxing match? I'm out of shape. I don't even know what you look like.
Come on, like, why are you trying to get like, that's evil what you're trying to do.
Yeah, the whole idea behind closing gyms down also is one of the most ridiculous things.
Look at this guy, though. I mean, he's
clearly being in shape, being low fat, like low body fat, eating healthy is probably the best deterrent. It's way more effective than any vaccine.
Well, That's where we're going to end this. I'm not saying that because the WHO doesn't say that. What we're going to do here, YouTube, is you're going to, if you want to see more,
paid to say that.
If you want to see more of this before Fitch gets me kicked off of YouTube, we're going to end it over here on YouTube. We're going to talk about other stories, but specifically on Rockfin. Rockfin.com, 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 ROKFIN.com. That's where we're going. YouTube, I love you, but Fitch getting too spicy for YouTube. We need to get.
It's such a frustrating